Hello, can you hear me?
I absolutely can. How are you, Chris?
I'm good. How are you?
Not too bad. Glad you join us. So I'll just quickly introduce yourself. I did get the opportunity to ask how long have you worked here for? How long have you worked here?
I've worked within professional part-time learning department for 6 years, and I actually taught part-time for a few years prior to that. So if we include everything, it's 7 years.
Okay, so you've been with us for.
Yeah.
So Chris, everybody, is the Director of Professional and Part-Time Learning, so PPL for short, just in case we do refer to that acronym. So as I mentioned earlier, we're here to talk to Chris about professional and part-time learning opportunities, how to get involved, how to apply, the benefits of professional and part-time learning. So everything PPL related as well. So I'm going to take us through some questions. Chris is going to answer the questions. If you do have questions, feel free to kind of jump in. And welcome everybody. I know it's a busy time of year, but always a good opportunity to learn about furthering your education at Durham College, of course, thinking about what might be next for you or might be next kind of down the road. I always say that education is continuous, right? So it's definitely important to take advantage of any education to help you along your path in your career journey. So let's jump right in. So Chris, what does PPL stand for? And I already kind of gave it away. So a little bit of a spoiler, a little bit of a
You did professional and part-time learning, and it's specifically for that because we really have two different types of options for two different types of students. One, those students looking to work on a credential part-time, and then we have those that are professionals and want to further their career, maybe look at career changes. All those components fall under a professional learning component.
Yeah, so all under that kind of bucket. And what type of credentials does PPL offer? So what's all about?
So we offer a wide variety, and I'll list them. So you've got grad certs, you've got diplomas, both 2- and 3-year diplomas, you've got certificate programs, you've got recognitions of achievement, and we've got micro-credentials, which are newer, but I'm sure people have heard those in the news. Professional designations, and then I always like to call individual courses out that you might go, oh, they're not a credential. Yes, they're not, but an individual course might offer specific learning that somebody might need or want. And sometimes there's those that go, oh, well, I have to take a whole program when I go to PPL. Well, no, you don't. You might just want to take one course.
Right.
I think it's good to frame out to what those credentials are because everybody might not be familiar with them. So a grad certificate is something for those that already have a diploma degree or have experience that they can go in and take that type of grad certificate. And a grad certificate is very focused on a particular topic. So I'll give you an example. We have one on data analytics. Well, everything in that course is just focused on data analytics. Yeah. And that's a very compressed program so that you go in and go, that's what I'm going to learn. Then you have your diplomas, which are 2- and 3-year diplomas, which I think everybody's familiar with. And then we have our certificates and records of achievement. So those are shorter credentials, and the differentiator is just number of hours is how we break those up between those two. And again, they're more focused on a particular, we'll say, topic. So picking an example, certificate as an accounting specialist, well, that'll be consistent of X number of courses, all focused on accounting so that somebody that's interested in just learning that piece of education can be very focused and take a shorter program just on accounting specialty.
So basically you specialize or you can do part-time kind of learning along, 2- to 3-year diploma program.
Yes, all of our courses, we'll say programs, are all done part-time. So when we say a 3-year diploma, and this is a good thing to call it for those that might be interested, like, oh, I'm thinking about going back and getting a diploma. If you're taking it through PPL, you can take it part-time, and the math is double time in one semester in completion time. So when we say a 3-year diploma, if you were taking a PPL, you have 6 years and 1 semester to complete it. So you really can take it in bite-sized chunks because you might be working full-time, might having a family, etc. And that gives you that flexibility to take it over a long time and not be pressured and going, oh my gosh, I've got 10 courses I've got to complete all at once. No, you can break that out.
So there's options in that. So why should I consider PPL? So what's the draw to PPL, part-time professional learning? So why? And you already touched a little bit on about the whys, but why else?
Sure. I would call to me the number one why is I'm looking for options. When you're going, all right, what am I going to look for in education? And I gotta have options and opportunities available for me, and that's what we offer, because we offer over 70 different programs and over 1,000 courses. So there's a lot of variety right off the bat. And then I want to talk about flexibility, because that's critical in part-time learning. Our courses are delivered in an online format, in person, or we even have what's called open enrollment. And when we're talking about online, there's 2 options. There's what's called asynchronous and synchronous. Synchronous is, okay, there's a specific time we've got to meet, just like this. This is a synchronous meeting. We're live, we're talking. Asynchronous would be one where the course content information is all laid out for the student, but there's not a specific time where they have to meet at 7 p.m. on every Tuesday night. No, it is they can work through the content of that course throughout the week at their own time, so that gives them that extra flexibility. So it's the flexibility of the delivery of the course, and then specifically with online being able to do it asynchronous gives that student that flexibility to do the work throughout the week. A couple other ones I love to call out because people may not be aware is the availability of the courses. So PPL works on 3 semesters. It's not just fall and winter semester and summer's off. No, it's 3 semester intakes that we do every year. But on top of that, we do monthly intakes.
Right.
So let's say, for example, you're in the middle of a semester and go, okay, I'm ready to start. Well, I got to wait till next semester to actually start. Well, no, you don't. You can look up, and based on, now, not every course is offered every month, but we have a portion that are, and you might want to start a program and go, oh, wow, I can start in the middle of the semester and get going and don't have to wait. So that's another flexibility and advantage that we offer. Payment methods, another one. I always like to make students aware that, let's say, for example, you're going to go and you decide, I want to take this program. Great. But you don't have to go and pay for the full, what we'll call it, a semester payment or a big block payment, or pay for the whole program up front. You actually pay for the courses as you register and take them. So if you're just taking 1 or 2 courses, you're only paying for 1 or 2 courses for that semester.
Time. Yeah.
Correct. And it really helps with the managing the finances. And as we talk about pricing, I do like to call out that I am confident in saying that we're one of the low price leaders in Ontario when it comes to, you compare an apples to apples course and you compare it to another college, we will be one of the lower price leaders. So I'm confident saying that. And that's another advantage to those students. And then I always like to say this because we've got a great team in PPL, and and I'll say this, we're award winning. So we've won the Reader's Choice Award for continuing education and adult learning for multiple years. And this is the one that I like the best, I brag about a little bit here, is that for the last, and I want to make sure I get it right, I think it's the last 5 years running, we have won the award for live chat.
Nice.
And what live chat is, if people don't know, is when you go onto our website, there'll be a pop-up and say, hey, do you want to join a live chat? Well, that's somebody literally on the other side typing and helping, answering, and supporting our students. And we've won that award for the last 5 years. So there's a few key reasons on why you should choose or consider PPL.
Yeah, so the support that's kind of built in terms of that automatic response. If you have questions, it's all there for you. Are there other supports that PPL takes or utilize?
Yes. So I always like to say it as a PPL student is a Durham College student. So the supports that are available to Durham College students are the supports that are available to PPL students. So all our standard supports, but I always like to call it, we've got our Ask Center, which is Access and Support Center for those students that are looking or need additional supports when it comes to accommodations. We've got our CELS, which stands for Student Academic Learning Services. And the best way I always call those is those are the tutoring services where a student's having challenges in a particular course, well, they can go to them and they can get that extra support. And then we also have a student advisor that can help students work through as they're planning their sequence of courses to complete a program. They're available in there to support.
Perfect. So similar supports in terms of what's there for PPL students. Have you launched any new programs lately? It's always fun to learn about new programs. I tend to kind of hear things, obviously, through the grapevine, but anything for our listeners that you want to highlight in terms of new offers for students?
Yes, we've actually offered quite a few over the last few months, actually. I'm going to lead with one of the more interesting ones. You might have heard this in the news, is we've got a nursing shortage right now, and the government is trying to come up with strategies to help bring nurses on and start working literally in Ontario. So there's two initiatives that we have just launched literally in April. So one is called the PSW to PN Bridge, and that's for students that have completed a PSW diploma program and then can take these, I think it's 7 courses off the top of my head, but they take a group of courses and then they can apply to get advanced status into the PN nursing program so that they're able to work towards completing their nursing credential. So that was one. And then the second one of that is if there's someone that has a nursing degree or a diploma from another country and is now living in Canada, well, they can get their education assessed by the College of Nurses, and then any of the gaps that are identified, they can take the corresponding courses through Durham College and then get their nursing credential in Ontario to be able to practice in Ontario. So there's 2 key ones that the government have launched and we're supporting with courses. So that's 2. I'll quickly go through a couple other ones. So there's one that we did as a human rights management program, and that's designed for HR experts and those in management positions managing people to be able to help understand and support those that have, and I'll use the example part of the Human Rights Code, when you're talking about back to work legislation or accommodations for those that may have been injured and trying to work their way back. Well, you need to understand how to help support the employees and do that properly. So that's a program that's great for that. We've got a inclusive leadership practicing program, Residency Tendency Act, where it's designed for those that are renting and those that are rentees or renters to understand the act, to be able to, I'll say, follow it correctly and just understand what your rights are. Then cybersecurity, we launched a new program that helps prepare students to challenge the CSIP exam. Fundraising program, and then we have a number of virtual reality micro-credentials. So there's been a lot of activity in PPL over the last few months in new program launches.
Yeah, I was beside you guys at, it was an open house. I can't remember what event it was. So I was kind of and students that were close. It was a graduation event, the Gear Up to Graduate or whatever it was called. And so I was kind of keeping in here to see what students were asking. And yeah, nice compliments. So students that are even close to graduating, some of those programs that can complement your already graduating from human resources, for example, you know, some of those types of things to complement. I can speak to, I've taken advantage of professional part-time learning when I worked at George Brown College. So definitely a great opportunity to further your education or to start your education in a part-time capacity. What about financial support? I know as students, I know as individuals living in this day and age, you know, finances are a struggle. So can you tell us a little bit about financial support available?
Yes, absolutely. So I always start with a standard where OSAP is available. Now it's part-time OSAP, and the student will apply through the regular OSAP process. So that's always that. There's micro credentials have their own OSAP process, and we offer micro credentials that do apply, or I would say, the student can apply for OSAP to take those courses. So there's two. Then we have what's called the Better Jobs Ontario Fund, which some people may remember it as Second Career. And what that is, it's a program for those that have either lost their jobs or looking for a career change, and you can apply through, and it's a government-run project, and you can apply through that and then get accepted, and they help with the financing of completing particular programs. So there's certain requirements, but that's another great opportunity. And then the last one, which is unique, because if you're an employee working in an organization, or if you're an owner of a company, you can work with what's called the Canada Ontario Job Grant. And what that does is you apply, you have a student or an employee, or you're the employee, and you want to apply for a particular course or training that aligns with your current role. You can go fill out the paperwork, and the company can get funding to actually send you to take that program or that course. So there's multiple venues on which students can take advantage of through PPL. And then there's, I would say, the standard bursaries and things along those lines that Durham College offers.
Yeah. Also, I know when I worked previously, and even in our current role, there is professional development allocated for employees. So if a student, a graduate, has graduated and secures a full-time job, there may be opportunities to speak to your employee or employer rather about to see if they offer some sort of incentives for furthering your education. So sounds like through your live chat, maybe someone can ask some questions about that for sure.
Absolutely.
Awesome. So how does one apply? Do we apply through OCAS? Like, tell me about that. How do I apply to be a PPL student?
So it's funny you bring up OCAS, because we right now that's not set up, but we may be doing that in the future. But currently there's really it's quite an easy process. So first, you want to make sure that you meet the administration requirements. And if you go onto our website and you're looking at a program and go, oh, I'm interested in it, it'll be right there what those requirements are. There are a couple programs that require the completion of an admission form. So if it was one of those programs that you're interested in, you would complete that admission form, require whatever the paperwork is, submit that, and then get approval. Once you've got your approval or you meet those requirements, then it's literally as simple as going online, going, okay, which course do I want to actually take and register for? And you can pay and register right online through our online registration process. If you prefer, you're more than welcome to call the registration office directly. You can do it over the phone, or you can do it in person. But that's how you would register for any course.
Yeah, so directly through DC, directly through PPL, not through OCAS. It's kind of a trick question.
Correct. And it's just so everybody knows too, it's durhamcollege.ca/PPL. And that's the easiest way to remember our website to be able to see and register for those items.
Now, what if I don't meet the admin requirements to get into the program? Is there options? Tell me about that.
Yes. So if you don't meet the minimum requirements, so majority, and I'm going to talk big picture, majority is usually, okay, I don't have a math or an English level grade 12 course. Okay. So we have what's called ACE, and ACE stands for Academic and Career Entrance Course. And you can go and take those courses to get your equivalency to make sure that you meet those requirements. And what the nicest thing about this is, there's an option to take them for free. So, and I don't remember the details. I mean, there's a couple pieces that have to be filled out, but if you go to our website and you can click onto ACE, you'll see that you have to be an Ontario resident, you have to be of a certain age, and you have to fill out an application form with ACE directly, and then you have to, I believe it's take a 2-hour course with them, and once they give you the certification of, yep, you're good to go, then you can take those free courses right through Durham College, and then you'd be set and ready to go.
So academic upgrading is another option for people that maybe don't meet the requirements. Someone had asked what we're talking about today. So we're talking about professional and part-time learning opportunities within Durham College. So this will be recorded, or it is being recorded and saved, so you can go back through and watch it. And of course, you can reach out to the PPL department to get any specific answers. And then ACE, academic upgrading, is a really great program if you don't have the PPL, and also any full-time programs at Durham College. ACE is always a really great option, and I talk a lot about the ACE program to do some of those upgrading if you are missing some of those requirements. Very cool. Now, the next question, if I've worked for multiple years, is there a way to get advanced standing? So I've worked in my field for a number of years, I'm exploring options. Can I get advanced standing? Can I get, out of certain courses rather?
So actually, we get this question a lot, because a lot of time we get those that have experience but want to get a formal credential or etc. And the answer is yes. And it's called a PLAR. So it stands for Prior Learning Assessment and Recognition. So you would look at the course and say, oh, I know this. I've been doing this for years. I know this inside and out. So then you can apply to complete a PLAR, and the PLAR differs based on the course. It could be a test, it could be a portfolio, it could be an assignment, all kinds of different assessments. But you would then go and complete the assessment, and if you were successful on the assessment, you wouldn't have to take that course. You would get credit for that course. So that would be, that would be the first one. And the second one, it's not really designed specific for a number of years, but it's something to keep in mind to help get advanced status into a program, would be if you've completed courses or a program previously, either at Durham College or at a different institution, you can look at those courses and go, do any of them align to what's in the program that I'm looking at taking? Because there might be an option to transfer those courses if they're equivalent and get a transfer credit and not have to take that course. So that's another option.
So it's a win-win because you can still get credit and then PLAR out of certain courses, so you don't have to, you can use your time maybe a little bit more beneficially to you and your money as well. So, and there is a process, of course, and going through that, applying for it. And I believe there's a small fee, if I'm not mistaken, to PLAR out of a course. So definitely there's that option available as well. I wrote down just quickly, are there courses like first aid, smart serve, like some of those quick kind of wins? And I know a lot of our students maybe are required, first aid as part of their job. Is there anything like that offered through you guys?
Yes. So we offer, and we kind of talked quickly about the credentials, but I didn't get into too much detail on that. When we have courses that can be a day long, or courses that are a standard, we'll call it a 14-week standard college course. So there's many courses that we have that are 1 or 2 days, including CPR. Perfect. That you can go, you complete it over a weekend, and boom, you're ready, you're certified. So yes, absolutely. And that's the one thing that I find that is the most misunderstood from people that are not familiar with continuing education, PPL, as they go, oh, yeah, I don't need another diploma. Well, no, we offer things that may apply to anybody, no matter your educational level, from high school up to we've got PhDs taking courses.
Yeah.
And the reason why is it's targeted specific education that that person needs. It could be CPR. It could be anything from external credentials even. For example, let's say you wanted to become a project manager and get your PMP certification. We have a training course that you can complete to prep you to write that exam.
Yeah.
So those are the type of variety of programs and courses that we have.
Yeah. So there's shorter kind of quick wins that you can add on to make you, more employable or more trained in different aspects. Is there motorcycle training? I think that's here, is it not?
There is. So you can get your motorcycle certification as well. And if you go to our website, it takes you to our partnering website that does all the registration piece for that. And that's actually done right in the parking lot on the weekends at campus.
So lots of, not just professional, but also, for hobbies as well. I know I've taken some, continued learning in different topics just for fun, right? So if that's an opportunity for you, because no learning is bad. So I think that's important if there's other interest in terms of other opportunities. If anyone has questions, where would they go? So direct emails, websites?
Sure. So first and foremost, our website, which is, again, durhamcollege.ca/PPL. They can email us at ppl@durhamcollege.ca. They can call us at our extension 3052. We also have the live chat option we mentioned a little bit earlier. So if they go to our website, that live chat will pop up and you can click on and ask any of your questions during regular business hours. And then we also are on social media as well. So we can also look at LinkedIn, Instagram, and Twitter, and our handles are DC Pro Dev. And then on Facebook, which is Durham College PPL.
Perfect. So lots of opportunities to reach out, lots of opportunities to get in. Anything else you want to add that I didn't ask that we didn't cover today?
I'm trying to think off the top of my head if there was anything that I think we spoke about most items, but I'm willing to take questions if there's something that somebody has out there that a burning question.
Yeah, if anybody in our audience has any questions at all, we can kind of hang out a little bit and you can take the opportunity to ask Chris any questions related to PPL. And for anyone that's just joining us, we're here just to talk to Chris about professional and part-time learning programs at Durham College. So definitely check out the chat we're done, and it's recorded up on our Instagram. So if there's any questions at all, then feel free to jump right in. So we'll leave a couple minutes. Looks like I got one question. Hold on, I don't know if someone asked, can I take GNEDs online? I'm guessing that is Gen Eds.
Gen Eds, yeah. 100%. We have many different Gen Ed options, and we actually have a web page specific with all the Gen Ed options available for students. So if you go to our website and go under the programs and courses tab, you can click on it and there'll be a tab there directly for Gen Eds. Perfect. So yes.
Perfect. Awesome question. Anyone studying in second course starting in May would be able to get, so on-campus jobs, so maybe not the right opportunity to ask that. If you want to private message me, I can give you directions. So there are on-campus employment opportunities. If you're returning to school, of course, there's certain eligibility criteria in order to work on campus, and there's certain funding associated for both our domestic and our international students. So if you want to have an offline conversation with me, feel free to message me after, and I can kind of direct you accordingly. And there is a process, there is an approval process, and then there's a process to apply for the positions. And there still are positions available on campus. Really great question. I have another question. Oh, wrong button. Hold on. You can just message me directly on Instagram and I can point you accordingly. What are professional development opportunities at PPL?
Okay. Yeah, because I don't think we even got into the specifics of the type of programs or the professional development. Why don't I take a minute and talk a little bit about that, because we have different big areas, because when you're talking 70 programs, I'm not going to sit here and list all 70, people will just be bored. But let me frame out some of the big areas. So we have arts and design. That would be program courses like photography and graphic design. In business, we have many different business programs and courses, anywhere from accounting and leadership and sales and HR and marketing, supply chain management. So we have lots of different options in business. We have another bucket for education. So if you're looking to become an ECE, you want to be more of a developer and go, no, I want to be an e-learning developer. I want to be an instructional designer. We've got many programs in the education field, and we've got health and community services. So you might be looking at completing a credential in child mental health. It might be nephrology, maybe social service worker. So lots of different programs within the health world. Information technology. You might want to become and this would be, I'll give you an example of external certification. So Cisco Certified Network Associate. You might be looking and going, no, I want to learn all about coding. No, you know what, I want to be a cybersecurity expert. All these different programs we have. Then we have languages. You might want to go, I want to learn how to speak French, Spanish. I want to learn sign language. If you flip over to our legal and emergency services, no, I want to be a criminal psychologist. Okay, we can do that. Then we have our trades and technology portfolio, and maybe you want to learn how to weld. Maybe you want to learn how to do electrical. Maybe you want to be a construction manager. Maybe you want to be a home inspector. All different types of programs. So that's the, I know if I answer the question, I'm going to get to professional development, but that's some of the big areas in which we have courses in. But then when it comes to professional development, we've actually just launched an addition to our website that's specific to courses and programs that align to professional development, meaning I already have a career but want to improve or want to take extra courses to help in, well, it can be not just improving, it might be I want to shift my career into a different direction, or it might be I've graduated and I want to take this learning to give me that edge in getting a job for interviews and getting me to the top of the pile when they're looking at resumes. That's our professional development section, and we've broken it into 11 different areas. So for example, actually I'll read them out. Construction and trades, digital media and design, health and community, management and leadership, project management and Six Sigma, professional designations, data management analytics, education, information technology, marketing and sales, and then writing and communication. And each one has different courses. Just to randomly pick one, we'll pick on the project management and Six Sigma category, where in there you can take courses in Lean Belt certification. You might want to take courses in project management. I think I mentioned that earlier, and wanted to work towards a PMP designation. That's where you can, we have those type of short courses to be able to take and work towards those type of credentials.
I can speak to my experience with professional and part-time learning through, I finished my undergrad. I've always enjoyed working with individuals with different challenges, disabilities. So I just, as an added layer, I already established, education. So definitely lots of opportunities to add your credentials or part-time learning in terms of taking your time to complete diplomas and whatnot. So definitely lots of opportunities. And it's always fascinating for me to listen, because you have so many opportunities, whether it be those shorter term kind of first aid examples or those longer term commitments in terms of education. I have one other question here.
Sure.
I believe, or maybe we answered it. Let me just double check. Yeah, we've answered it, I believe. So if there's no more questions, we'll wait another minute. Otherwise, I will be sure to post, share this out, tag our team over in the professional and part-time learning department. If you do have any questions, absolutely reach out to their team. From the sounds of it, they're quite interactive online, so they will get back to you, I'm sure, in due time. And if you have any questions, I know one of our friends asked about on-campus employment, definitely reach out. You can send me an Instagram and I can point you in the right direction in terms of how that process works, because there is still opportunities online, but or not online, rather on campus, but there are processes you have to follow in order to work on campus, of course. So thank you for joining us. It's always a great opportunity to meet people on Instagram Live, especially our internal friends on campus here, and learning about professional part-time learning today. And feel free to reach out, and I will tag your team over there on once this is saved onto our Instagram. So thanks for coming, Chris, and you did great.
Well, yeah. Well, no, thank you very much. And I'll just repeat that if there's ever any questions, don't hesitate to reach out to our team.
Yeah.
We're here to support.
Yeah. And definitely take advantage of those. Even though if you're really close to graduating, you're probably like, I'm done, I don't need to learn. But maybe, you settle into that full-time job and you're thinking, well, what's next for me? Maybe I want that added edge, maybe I want to explore some options. So definitely it's there for you, and there for you to take advantage of, or get your motorcycle license.
Absolutely. Maybe you want to learn how to be a photographer. Maybe you want to learn how to weld. All those things. Sewing. We've got lots. So check it out.
It's your course, because I'm not very handy. All right. Well, thanks for joining us, Chris, and absolutely reach out to their team if you do have further questions, everybody. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Bye. Take care.